But let's move into the final segment, and that is 1 through 10 for our starting power forwards for the 2019-2020 NBA season. Ricky Widmer, start us off.
So, number 10, Pascal Siakam. I originally had him lower, but I was watching our boy Jake. He was streaming on Twitch, and someone in his Twitch stream was like, that's way too low for Pascal, so I put him in the top 10. So Pascal is number 10. Kristaps Porzingis is at number 9. Julius Randle at 8. My boy Lauri Markkanen of the Bulls at 7. LaMarcus Aldridge at 6. The big one, and a little bit of a drum roll for this one, Zanos Williamson, Zion, at number 5. Anthony Davis at 4. Blake Griffin at 3.
Fucking Rudy Gay, man.
Yeah, no Rudy Gay in this one. Blake Griffin at 3. Kawhi Leonard at 2. And Giannis Antetokounmpo at number 1.
All right, Dave, give us your 1 through 10.
Sure thing. Number 10, I had Julius Randle. At 9, it's Pascal Siakam. 8, Bojan Bogdanovic. At 7, Lauri Markkanen. 6, Kristaps Porzingis. 5, LaMarcus Aldridge. 4 is Blake Griffin. 3, Anthony Davis. 2, Giannis. And 1, Kawhi Leonard.
Both of you with Markkanen. At 10, I have Draymond Green. At 9, I have Lauri Markkanen. At 8, I have Bojan Bogdanovic. At 7, I have Pascal Siakam. At 6, I have Kristaps Porzingis. At 5, I have LaMarcus Aldridge. At 4, I have Blake Griffin. At 3, I have the reigning NBA MVP and Giannis Antetokounmpo. At 2, I have Anthony Davis. And at 1, I have Kawhi Leonard. And for our cumulative rankings, we have at 10, Bojan Bogdanovic. At 9, Julius Randle. At 8, Pascal Siakam. At 7, Lauri Markkanen. At 6, Kristaps Porzingis. At 5, LaMarcus Aldridge. At 4, we have Blake Griffin. At 3, Anthony Davis. At 2, Giannis Antetokounmpo. And at number 1, Kawhi Leonard. Let's start off with the Bulls homerism here. Pascal Siakam is better than Lauri Markkanen. What are you guys talking about? This is ridiculous. Yes! This is a guy that went into the NBA Finals and went up against Kevin Durant and the Golden State Warriors and had a phenomenal performance. And he went through the playoffs and had phenomenal performances. And he is the most improved player. And Lauri Markkanen can't even play a full season.
We'll never know because Lauri Markkanen will never be on that Kawhi Leonard Raptors team.
It's very true. The opportunities, the looks, the setups, it's all very different. Now, does Pascal Siakam have a great opportunity in front of him? Absolutely. Did he perform extremely well in the games that Kawhi Leonard did not play in? Yeah, he played admirably. But at the end of the day...
Nice word there, admirably.
But at the end of the day, when you've got a 7-foot finished sniper on the outside, you're not just going to put him down. You got to go let the shooter shoot.
When you have a better defensive player, though, in Pascal Siakam, when you have a guy who is, I think, better driving to the lane, I mean, the only thing that Markkanen has over him is size, because he's 7 feet tall, and shooting, and he's a phenomenal shooter.
Yeah.
But I would take...
Those are pretty big...
Plays right into this league.
Yeah.
I would take the all-around game over... It's not like Pascal Siakam's a bad shooter. He shot 36% from 3 last year. Like, he's a decent shooter.
Yeah.
Like, he's above league average. I guess he's not a god like Markkanen is, but he is much better as a well-rounded player than Lauri Markkanen is. If you're looking for who could be a number 1 option, Siakam fits that bill way better than Lauri Markkanen does.
I don't know about that. Look, we're just starting to scratch the surface of what Lauri Markkanen is or isn't.
Same with Siakam.
But Siakam's
This was Siakam's
already
first
25.
true year.
That's the difference. Mm-hmm. Siakam's 25. He's in his prime.
Okay, but this is for this year,
Yeah.
Dave. So I would rather take the 26-year-old who's finally getting
He's 25,
a shot.
but okay.
Oh, 25-year-old.
Yep.
I was assuming that was 25-year-old last year. The 25-year-old. I'd rather take the 25-year-old who's now finally getting a shot with great veteran players on a team that is well coached by Nick Nurse than the hellhole that is the Chicago Bulls with Jim the Thumb Boylan and, who the hell their starting point guard is, whether it be Chris Dunn, who doesn't want to be there, or Thomas Satoransky, who's like 6'9".
Check out Superfans.
Check out Superfans.
Couldn't figure it out.
I'd rather take Siakam's kind of clean slate than it is Lauri Markkanen's question marks when it not only comes to the starting lineup and the starting head coach, but also to his health as well. Like, this year, Siakam's more of a clear-cut choice than it is Markkanen.
So, all the joking aside, my 6 through 10 was kind of like a hodgepodge of what to expect because you've got Pascal Siakam, yes, had a very nice year last year, very good year last year. But now without Kawhi being there, what's it like? Without Kawhi being there, what are we going to see this year? I had questions about that, so I couldn't put him any higher than I did. Kristaps Porzingis injury, was out an entire year, and he's on a new team. So it's like, it's one of those to where I would pick Porzingis over Siakam. That's how he broke that tiebreaker. But I almost have a question about what we're going to see from him because of coming back from injury and with a new team, although we think he'll fit nicely with Luka in Dallas. Then you've got Julius Randle. Yet again, played very nice, had a great season, but now he's in New York, where usually talent goes to New York and it's just the island of misfit toys. I'm sorry, Knick fans, but it just kind of disappears, where it's like, oh, he was a Knick, and then really I never knew he existed ever again. And then there's Lauri Markkanen, who, again, injury questions, hasn't played that full season, but has shown glimmers and kind of specks of something that you would love to see from a 7-foot sniper and a finisher for that power forward position. So for me, it was like the top 6 was, all right, these guys are those top 6. It was these 4 that's like, okay, how do I mix these guys around? Because there's questions whether it's injury or just them being in a new location or them not having one of the best players in the league matched up with them on the same team.
Dave, are you this concerned about Siakam and his lack of Kawhi Leonardness on this team? Like, are you concerned about that?
Absolutely. I mean, the biggest thing for me is you're the one telling me that this is a Raptors team that's going to go wholesale and give away their veterans for pennies on the dollar to clear house because they're not going to compete. You're trying to tell me that Kyle Lowry is going to get shipped out of town in his final year. So I'm going to say his supporting cast next year is such an unknown that, yes, he can have
next year, this year. And I think by February 14th that it might be thinned out a little bit, yes.
Yeah, so...
But for the first half of the season, I don't think it will be. And I think by that point, when you hit that February deadline around there, Siakam won't have to, I think, rely as much as he will on these veterans that they might move, whether it be Gasol, whether it be Lowry, whether it be Fred VanVleet. They might end up only moving Fred VanVleet. I mean, they might want to keep Lowry around for what he's done for this country. Fuck it, yeah, the whole country, for Canadian country. I mean, if they want to do...
You said keep Lowry around. I was very confused.
Yeah, Lowry, if they want to keep Lowry.
Kyle.
Lowry.
Not
Lowry.
Not Lowry, yeah.
Right.
Kyle Lowry. If they want to keep Lowry around, if they want to keep Kyle Lowry around for what he's done for this country, then yeah, I totally understand that. So, I mean, it's not for sure given. I think, again, they might not be competing for a championship, but they'll still be a playoff team.
Yeah. Yeah. The Bulls have equal chances to go to the playoffs this year. That's my
Raptors have a much better chance.
If you're telling me that they're going to sell their whole team out, then no, I would not give them great playoff odds, Sean. That's what you're telling me, is that they're going to ship Gasol out, they're going to try to ship Ibaka out, they're going to potentially ship off Kyle Lowry. Like, these are not things that inspire confidence towards playoffs. Meanwhile, the Bulls are a team that went ahead and added talent like Thad Young, added talent like Satoransky, and when healthy, they've got just a elite young group of talent with tons of potential still left in them. I think Lauri Markkanen can be out there putting up 20-something a night on this Bulls team once their offense finally clicks. The problem is that they've just had to cycle in and out guys left and right to where there's no consistency. He had multiple 30-point performances last year, and I think that's more along the lines of what you should expect to see as a guy who's going to be, a 20 to 25 point a game scorer between he and Zach LaVine. And then you're going to have the complementary pieces like the Otto Porters, like the Wendell Carter Jr.'s, who are going to be able to kind of fill in those blank games. And my expectation is he's going to be able to do that while providing good shooting from the outside and decent defense, being 7 feet tall.
So here's a question I have when it comes to these two players and these two teams. So ESPN put out their predictions for this year.
Yep.
And they've got a full win-loss total for the East and the West. But in the East, I'm just going to throw out the Raptors, have you talk about it, and then throw out the Bulls. Do you guys think over-under on these win totals? So first the Raptors, they have them as the 6th seed, 45 wins, 45 and 37. Over, under, or does that seem about right for Siakam and the Raptors?
45 wins?
45 wins.
And what were they at last year? 60 something?
I would have to pull up these standings from last year, but I'll get you that.
You're saying over-under on that?
Yeah, over-under, or if you think it's even. They were at 58 last year.
I would take the over. I'll take the over. It's not guaranteed that they will be trading those starting players. I think that might be a route that they should explore. That's one thing that I'll say that. I think they might explore that route of trading those players, but I don't think it's a given that they will.
And it's something you would do if you were the GM.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or at least explore it. But yeah, no, I would say over.
Fair enough. I also think they're probably going to be over. I think they're probably about a 50-win team.
Yeah, I'm going to say over too, and the only reason why I say over is I don't think Brooklyn or Indiana is going to be above them in the standings, and they're at 45-46. Mm-hmm. The Bulls, they have as the 11th seed, 32-50 this upcoming year.
Yeah, and that's ridiculous because that's the assumption that, half our team's going to be hurt for half the year again? Like, that's the biggest thing. When you look at the Bulls last year, they had spurts of success, and it was all predicated around, adding an Otto Porter at the end of the year was a nice bit, but like having all the talent healthy at the same time, which was like, oh, we can win games because we have healthy players, was a freaking miracle out here. I understand that the Raptors did win, have a great winning percentage without Kawhi Leonard last year, but that was like those games were hand selected as like, yeah, we can get by without that. That game's against the Grizzlies. That game's against the whatever.
Do you want to know how many points Siakam put up in those games?
I think it's like 21,
19,
24.
19
okay,
a
19?
game. So
okay.
He played without Kawhi Leonard.
He almost put up as many points a game as Lauri Markkanen.
He was
averaging.
better without Kawhi Leonard. He put up 16 points throughout that whole season.
Score.
I know, but he put up 16 points throughout that whole game. Someone has to score on this team for the Raptors.
Yeah.
Why can't it be Siakam? Siakam was the most improved player over Buddy Hield, the greatest shooter of all time. He was better than De'Aaron Fox, that point guard. I mean, like, he went out there and he produced without Kawhi. I am not worried about that.
Yep.
He has a more well-rounded and balanced game than Lauri Markkanen. And he doesn't have the injury concerns. I'm taking Siakam, especially for this year. Maybe down the line, maybe next year I'll be putting Markkanen above him. But right now,
guy who is
I got to
already
Siakam.
scoring almost 19 points a game normally with all that talent around him. I'm just saying.
Okay, but are we just looking at points? Because if we're looking at
I'm looking
points
at
of
shooting
defense,
percentages. I'm looking at his ability to rebound.
I would also take his Siakam's a great rebounder, and also defensively, Siakam better than Markkanen.
Yeah,
Markkanen had 9 rebounds per game last year.
In certain areas. Like, that's the thing. Like, you could say better defensively guarding the perimeter. Absolutely. Better defensively in transition. Yes. But Markkanen as a big body guarding at the 5 is going to beat out Siakam. I'm sorry. He's bigger. He's stronger. He's longer. Period.
Well, luckily, we're rating power forwards and not fives.
No, but when you got to guard the low post, you got to guard the low post.
All right. It was a good thing Marc Gasol's on the team. So, anyways,
and Serge Ibaka.
And Serge Ibaka. Let's move to another debate that I think is going to be hot. Let's get the debates out of the way. Let's keep it hot. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it,
Spicy.
Real fans will stay to the end anyways.
Thank you.
For Pascal Siakam.
Yeah. How the fuck is Anthony Davis, first off for you, Ricky, below Blake Griffin, and how the fuck is he not number 2? I get it. Giannis Antetokounmpo is the reigning MVP player. He is absolutely not worse. Over the past 3 years, there has been one player to put up over 10 boards and over 27 points per game in a whole entire season.
I take it that is without
Anthony
a game
Davis.
The thing is,
because he doesn't play games.
Yeah, you actually have to be on the court.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
To show how great
It's
you are,
not
you have to
Kevin
be
Love
on
out
the
here.
court.
It's not like he's playing 70 games.
Yeah, but
like,
he wasn't on the court
he had
last year.
that part that kept him out, but it wasn't because he was massively injured. Played 75 games in 56.
No, it was
and also
his
he
choice
wasn't massively
last year.
injured.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so
He
again,
held himself
75
out.
and 75 in the 2 years before. So if we're taking those 3 years, and he wasn't even injured last year. He was a player that was doing stuff that was not even touchable. He was the only player that was putting up those type of numbers.
Yep. He was putting up great numbers, but at the same time, are you going to discount what? Giannis being able to lead a team to 60 wins in the regular season and to a deep playoff run, something that Anthony Davis has never been able to do because he isn't able to carry a team.
Are we just looking at solely teams here? Because
Giannis
outside of Drew Holiday,
incredible individual stats too.
Okay, but outside of just Drew Holiday, who the fuck does Anthony Davis have?
I would have to say they did a poor job building rosters.
You have another all-star in Chris Middleton. You have Brooke Lopez, who was a great pickup. You have Eric Bledsoe, who's a top 15 point guard. I mean, and they have a way better coach than Mike Budenholzer.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not like it's just Anthony Davis versus Giannis right here because strictly as players, because what have they done?
I mean,
and also the year
sort
before.
Of the point, though, of this, isn't it? Strictly as players, who's better? And I would say Giannis is a more well-rounded player. I would say Giannis.
Well-rounded?
Yeah.
Anthony Davis is a better defender.
Yes.
And Anthony Davis is probably a better scorer than Giannis Antetokounmpo.
I would disagree with that.
Giannis has been averaging 26 and 27 the last 2 years.
Okay, and what did Anthony Davis do last year in his 59 games? 26 points. What did he do in the year prior? 28 games, 28 points. What did he do in the year prior? 28 points. He's put up better scoring numbers in the past 3 years. I just said there's only been one guy to put up over 25 points and 10 boards in the past 3 years. I think it was also like X amount of assists or whatever. It's been Anthony Davis.
I also kind of feel like the thing with when it came to me, it was...
It's not what you feel. One player's better than the other. And it's Anthony Davis is better.
It was, first off, there were tiers. It was Giannis and Kawhi are 1-2 in my mind. Who was I going to put 1 or 2? I put Giannis over Kawhi. That can be a debate in itself. But then after that, it was, okay, Blake Griffin and Anthony Davis. And there will be people that say Anthony Davis should be above Blake Griffin. But two things for me.
Smart people do.
Anthony Davis... How are his numbers going to be affected by playing with LeBron James? Because that's always a factor of your numbers do change in some way. You're not the same player you were with the Pelicans. You have to give up something when you play with LeBron James. And then also with Blake Griffin, the thing that I think with him is, yes, was he scoring the exact amount as Anthony Davis? No. But for me, I feel like, yet again, I put a lot of weight in the 3 ball. And with the amount of attempts he was taking, how he has upped his 3-point percentage, that's what I would go with more than an Anthony Davis who, he's going to get me a ridiculous amount of rebounds. Yes, he'll get me, even if he sacrifices some scoring, can give me the same points as a Blake Griffin. But if Anthony Davis is going to play the 4 and not the 5, which he doesn't like playing the 5, he likes playing the 4,
we hear him complain about it every year.
And you're only going to give me 33% from 3? Like, this is a league where if you're the 4, you got to have a more respectable number from beyond the arc in my mind.
Yes, because Giannis Antetokounmpo
he's known for
sharpshooter. Yeah,
he's working with Kyle Korver.
He is.
He's working the one part of his game.
He got better every month last year, shooting from 3. I'm just saying. My whole thing is just any way you want to slice and dice the stats, every advanced analytic points to Giannis being the better player. Every single one of them. True shooting percentage, offensive BPM, defensive BPM, VORP, win shares. Everything screams Giannis carries his team harder than Anthony Davis ever could. And at the end of the day, that matters a lot to me. And you made the case.
Are we looking just at last season?
I'm looking at last season because that's what we're basing this off of. Because look, Giannis got better every single year he's been in the league. So if you want to, say he's trending in a direction,
has Anthony Davis not?
I think Anthony Davis has been pretty much the same player he's been for the last 3 seasons. I don't know how much his game has evolved in the last 3 seasons compared to a player like Giannis, who over the last 5 seasons has turned into the MVP of the league from being a bench scrawny player who literally grew up,
I think the biggest thing that I could fight back on that with is, you could say that the points did not go up and the rebounds did not go up. But at least from 2016 to 2017, he averaged more blocks per game and he increased his 3-point percentage, which Ricky was harping over, from 29% to 34%.
Yeah.
So, and last year, we can kind of throw it out, but even then, if we didn't, yes, he went down a little bit in 3-point percentage, but still, he had around 26 points per game, was a better rebounder, and jumped from 2.3 assists to 4 assists. This was a guy that has been able to do every single thing for this team. He's been able to move the ball around. He's been able to score. He's been able to play defense at elite levels. Anthony Davis, I think we're just disrespecting him because we don't like the way he left New Orleans, which is fair. I shit on Kawhi Leonard for that. I absolutely did. So if you want to do that, that's fair. And I understand that he's the MVP, the reigning MVP, Giannis Antetokounmpo was. But if Anthony Davis was out there, I still think that he would have been in contention for that award.
Look, I'm sorry that I'm going to disrespect him that way, but you know what happens is one team learned how to build around a star, and the other one couldn't figure it out.
So that's on
and
Anthony Davis?
I'm not going to fault anything about that, but when you look at what they're able to produce in their systems, Giannis has been embraced and has thrived. Anthony Davis was embraced and has been stagnant. They tried for some dumb reason to pair him up with Boogie, who, look, I love that pairing. I thought that pairing was going to be fantastic. We never even get to see them because of injuries, unfortunately. Yeah. They traded off on who was going to be broken first. Fucking ridiculous.
And then when one came back, the other one's like, okay, Brad,
my turn. Thanks for covering for me, bro. You can take cover the hot seat on the bench. Look, that was a pairing that could have been dynamic, but instead we didn't get to see it together. It's a shame that we didn't get to see this, but now we're going to see Anthony Davis in his prime playing with the best player in the NBA and LeBron James. And like Ricky said, There's a cost for that. And yes, is he going to be expected to put up stupid numbers? Absolutely. Like, this is a team where we've talked about their lack of depth being a huge concern as far as how they're going to continue to keep up with other teams. But I still go back, and Giannis has been able to carry a team. Giannis took his team to the Eastern Conference
Finals.
Thank you. The word was not coming. And everything about his game just keeps getting better. His true shooting percentage is incredible. He's unstoppable during the regular season. During the playoffs, teams still don't have a great answer for him. You know, I'm waiting for let's find the gimmicky way to play defense against Giannis, kind of like they do with Harden, covering his back, shoulder because, he steps back for all of his shots. Like, there's going to be some ridiculous bullshit about that coming up next year.
I could take shots, if we're looking at career true shooting percentage, it is close. Giannis does lead them 59.1% to 58.5%.
But last season.
It is close. Last season, 64.4% to 59.7%. But also, if we look at the teams, one team was moving the ball around at
they had an offensive system
unreal rate where Anthony Davis had Drew Holiday.
Same with their defense, too. And that's the thing. I didn't even bring up defensive rating. He was at 99 last year because that Bucks team was incredible. Like, they just had answers to everything. And that's team. That's a lot of team effort. Was Giannis a huge impact on that because he shuts down every passing lane?
Yeah, I mean, if we want to do defensive rating career, Anthony Davis has a lower defensive rating than Anthony Davis, 103 to 104.
Has been getting better every year, and I think this past year he surpassed Anthony Davis.
Do you know who the all-time leader in PER is?
I don't.
Oh, it's Anthony Davis.
Cool.
Career leader. So, I mean,
I'm sure that'll look great on his hands when he holds up for,
how many does fucking Giannis have? Like, get the fuck out of here. Like, you can't bring up rings when both of them have 0.
No, but, PER...
0 times 0 is 0, brother. Like, come on.
One's been closer.
Okay, but if you're throwing out if you're throwing out every single advanced
one
metric,
guy's getting better.
Like, I understand that
by a lot.
One guy's getting better, but also one guy's on a much better team. It's not even close that comparison. Anthony Davis did not have help, and now he's going to play with LeBron fucking James. Like, this is going to be the year for Anthony Davis, and if it's not, I will eat my fucking underwear. I will come here and cut. I'm not actually cutting that.
Deal. I'm not. You guys saw it. We all heard it. I'm holding to it.
Fucking relax.
This man's gonna eat some
I'm
fucking
not actually eating my underwear. It's a fucking expression.
Are you wearing it for a whole day first?
Ooh, what the fuck? It's fetishy. Get the fuck out of here,
Is it fresh out of the dryer?
I mean, if he's gonna do it during the summer, that's gonna be some. Oh, Jesus
like, are we
Christ.
going to Six Flags whole day?
It's like
and then
eat my hat.
I'm just saying.
Should I say eat my hat? I will eat my hat if I'm wrong on this one.
You just gave me a spiel about how Pascal Siakam, the most improved player of the year. This is one of the guys who's been the most improved player of the year once, and he could have won it 2 more times because he just keeps getting better. He's like, yeah, so I won that. And they're like, are you going for MVP? And he's like, well, can I still win improved player of the year?
Yeah, but your comparison
is there a rule against that?
You're comparing Pascal Siakam and Lauri Markkanen, both guys who are rarely
they're not number one options yet.
Where Anthony Davis is a 3-time All-NBA player, a 3-time block champion, a 3-time All-Defensive player, a 6-time All-Star. It's not like he's going up against
3-time All-Star, a 3-time All-NBA, a 2-time All-Defensive. I'm just saying.
I think I heard more for Anthony Davis on those
2013, 2014 All-Rookie, most improved player, 2013 and MVP, All-Rookie. Which kind of trumps them all.
The MVP was, and that's for sure.
Just
but again,
getting better.
But again, did you vote for him for MVP?
I actually predicted that he would win the MVP at the start of the year.
Who did you pick though?
I want Harden to win it.
You picked Harden.
But I picked.
You picked Harden. You didn't even think he was the MVP.
But I predicted Giannis.
Okay, and I predicted AD as well. So, but
you would be very wrong.
I was wrong, but I'm just saying, like, maybe it's bias is showing here.
I picked Giannis.
It was biasing showing here, but you also at the end of the season thought James Harden was more important to his team than Giannis was.
I absolutely did because I've been
Dave
a James
Oster
Harden
was
fan for the last
hard.
5 years.
Bingo.
I was about to drop a hard G, by the way.
Giannis?
It was
Giannis.
accident.
So here's the thing I'm going to say when it comes to Anthony Davis, too, is, and this Laker team, it's not the exact same situation as the other 2 times, but it's predicting who's going to be who. Where LeBron, when he left Cleveland the first time, you bring in Bosh, you bring in Wade, you bring in LeBron. LeBron gets his points. He's always the consistent. But when you look at the other 2, D Wade went from 26. I got to move this because points is the only one I want to make sure I'm reading. He went from 26, 8-5 or 8-6 to 25, 6-4. So his points went down, but really he was pretty much the same player. Whereas Bosh went from 24, 10-2 to 18, 8-1. Then you go with Cleveland. LeBron comes in, he's consistent. Kyrie, he took on the D Wade role. He went from 23-6 to 21-3-5. K Love coming in went from 26-12-4 to 16-9-2. And when it comes to the Lakers, if LeBron's going to get his, Anthony Davis, well, first off, Anthony Davis, is he going to be the Wade Kyrie or the Bosh Love? Because Kyle Kuzma is that other kind of variable where...
No.
No. Let me finish.
There's a clear answer. It's Wade Kyrie.
Kanye, let me finish. The only thing that, and I'm not saying Kuzma's going to be the guy to be the Wade Kyrie, but the one thing that kind of leans into Kuzma's favor is it's whoever's the guy that, hey, I was here before you came in. That's the guy that's been A-okay. Kyrie, he was there when LeBron came in. Bosh, Wade, he was there when LeBron came in. Bosh, Love, and now Anthony Davis are the addition. So that's history playing into it, although I would be shocked if Kuzma had a bigger jump and he had better stats than Anthony Davis at the end of the year.
If you think that Kyle Kuzma had to be added to that package to get Anthony Davis, do you think LeBron would have done it?
No, I know that, but I'm saying of what the team is right now. Usually, it's the guy that
Ricky, I get your point,
the team.
But that was those guys: K Love, Bosh, Wade, Kyrie were all stars. Kyle Kuzma's not on those levels of those guys. That's the biggest thing. And also, Dwayne Wade and Kyrie Irving were better players than K Love and Chris Bosh. That's the reason why they stayed the same or gotten better. Not because they were still on the same team. It's because they were the better players of those guys. That's the reason why they got fed more.
I'd argue the K Love thing, but they're close.
I mean, for me, the big argument is, what is your true expectation for Anthony Davis in a LeBron system?
There's even things coming out that LeBron might be even taking a back seat. He might not be. He might be.
We could see the 50-20 Anthony Davis games all over again, where every single fall he looks like he is just a monster. Let's say basically just putting up the stupidest numbers that you can imagine.
I think
it's like Wilt Chamberlain numbers.
Here's the thing: is I think that we might see Giannis have a better statistical year when it comes to points. But when it comes
rebounds
to
and assists,
I might argue. Well, no, what he had?
No, he
4 last year.
He trounced him.
He
had 5.9.
5.9. Okay. What was it? 27, 11, and 6 then?
27, 12 and a half, and 6.
Okay. I think defensively is probably going to be where Anthony Davis shines more.
Has to.
And then I think also efficiency is going to be where he shines the most, because you're saying 64% true shooting for Giannis. You're also having LeBron feed you. And I think that's where it's going to be. I mean, okay. I think that's where it's going to be probably shining the most, because LeBron hasn't had this type of a big playing next to him. And I think that's where you're going to get a lot of open looks for Anthony Davis under the bucket. And, I mean, he's going to make them. I mean, Jesus Christ.
That's a team that you need to put a lot on your back, though. So it's a long regular season, having to do a lot of carrying. We'll see.
You don't think it's a lot of carrying for Giannis?
No, that's a super well-rounded team still. Like you said,
I mean,
they're a deeper team. Yeah, that's
but
that
let's look at the playoffs.
Nico Mirotic.
Let's look at the playoffs. He wasn't able to put him on the back.
I mean, he was. He just came very close.
But they made him beat him, and he wasn't able to do it. So yeah. I'm just saying, if teams have that mindset of, all right, we're going to let Giannis get his, and we're going to shut down everybody else, what's that team going to look like? Because that was the way that they beat him last year for the Raptors. So I think that, Anthony Davis is getting a little bit disrespect here. That's just my thoughts. Let's go. I
was just going to say, the Bucks lost Nico. Who did they add? Another former Bull in Rolo. It's okay.
And Kyle Korver.
Yeah. Just add former
Rolo
Bulls.
shooting threes this year, by the way. I would be afraid.
Let's move to Kristaps Porzingis, one of the guys that we probably should mention. Going to a new team, like Ricky mentioned a little bit earlier. What are the expectations for him? Because we talk about him possibly being the unicorn. 21 points, crazy block numbers. Super efficient from three. What's the expectation with him playing next to Luka?
He's got to be, don't be hurt, but he's got to be what he was. If he is not, and I understand that coming off of the injury is like, okay, I don't expect you to be exactly where you were.
Yeah.
But there's an expectation where it's like, it's you and Luka. if you two aren't like Luka will be the probably main scoring option, like if not the top, if Kristaps falls off. But it's like if Tim Hardaway Jr. is above you by the end of the year, like that's a failed season. Where it's like
that's gonna happen.
I would hope that's a failed season.
He needs to be the same, if not a little bit better than he was in that 2017-2018 year for the Knicks.
Do you think he can be better, Dave?
Yeah, I mean the biggest concern is his own health. Once he gets over that, like he's 7'3" with intensity that you don't see out of guys that size, that scale, that weight range, and he moves, he plays with passion, he scores well, and now he's playing on the Euroist friendly Euro team you could Euro together. You know, like that's the key to success. You're out of New York, you have no media attention at this point. There's no pressure. So it's pretty much just down to the fact of you and Luka get to go out there and just play hoops. Mm-hmm. Just keep the ball moving, bounce between everybody. And look, like you said, Ricky, as far as scoring options go, it's 1-2 and then it stops. Yeah. So both guys are going to have over 20 a game.
And
easy.
For our YouTube watchers, our camera did die, and we do not have a backup. So probably going to be logoed for the rest of the time out here. Just let you know for people watching there. For Kristaps, I just want to see him be healthy, and like you guys said, I mean that's the biggest thing. But if he is healthy and he is in shape, I do think that we could possibly see Kristaps pushing 23 and being
easy.
Yeah, being massively efficient, because when you have a guy feeding you like that, I mean, shit, it's gonna be tough.
Pick
to
and
beat
pop
that.
with Luka is good fucking luck.
It's just, can you surpass Blake Griffin at that point?
Yeah.
And Blake is a guy that is going to have the ball in his hands a ton. And obviously, he has his own injury concerns as well. But I think we were looking at it, and he's like one of the only players, or one of the only 3 players to average 25, 10 boards and like 6 assists last year.
Incredible.
He was insane.
He carried a team into the playoffs that had no right to be there.
He's probably going to do it again. So I mean, you're going to have something where you're able to push the Mavericks near playoff contention. Because it's way easier.
The West, though.
Way easier to get into the playoffs than the East.
Yep.
But you also at least have to be looking like what you were before, but also like a better version of yourself.
I'm hoping they get double bounce backs. I know this is not the topic for it, but Seth Curry could also have a bounce back year on this team. He had good success there before his injury. Coming back here, I'm hoping that they're able to just really stretch out the floor. And like you said, 23. I think like he and Luka are both going to be around 25.
Jesus.
Someone needs to put the bucket in the basket.
The bucket
Put the
in
ball
the
in the
basket.
In the
basket.
basket.
The bucket in the basket.
The bucket in the basket. That's my line. I'm sticking to it.
Ball in the basket?
Nope, bucket in the basket.
Fuck it. Any final thoughts? Because I mean, do we want to argue Kawhi as
No.
one, or because you
Kawhi's
had
universal
Giannis.
one. I'm sorry, Ricky.
The only other thing I'd say is, what are your expectations for Julius Randle in New York?
A ton of points.
Also going to a new team, like he's their big free agent signing this year.
I mean, I talked about effect, and the reason why he's in my top 10 is just because I think he's just going to be. I think he's going to be a stud, and I love Julius Randle, so it's a little bit clouded. But if he puts up, 23, 24 a night with 12 boards, I wouldn't be shocked.
Yeah, no,
he's
got an incredible offensive skill set. Defensively, he's playing at a deficit.
He's good. He's
because
fine.
his shorter wingspan.
Yeah.
But
he's
can
a
bounce,
high energy guy.
Yeah, he can bounce around. He's got good court ability. So I expect him to have a really good performance in New York, as long as they actually get him the ball, which has been the biggest fucking problem because they don't run an offensive set. So I don't know. It's hard to dislike a guy because he's so productive. Every time the ball gets in his hand, he's a solid player. The guy for me, I'm looking at is Bojan. It's like this guy came off of a monster finish of the season right before the playoffs for this Pacers team, carried them into the playoffs after Vic's injury, which people did not really expect out of him. He was able to step up and play really well. And like I said, they forced it out of him in the playoffs, and that was not great for him. But now he goes to a team where, good luck. Like they're the unsung heroes of the West, and they're gonna probably be a top 3 team. And he's not gonna have to do it all. He's gonna be able to play elite defense, shoot high quality shots, and continue to just dominate. So I'm excited for him. But it's just like, how much is he gonna be able to? How many points? Like contribution size to the team is going way down. But he might be one of those players who thrives in those situations where usage goes down, efficiency, which is already efficient, goes up even more. You might kind of fall in that reverse Otto Porter kind of situation where it's like, look, maybe you're not going to be able to take that next step, but you're going to be incredibly efficient while you're doing it for us.
Yeah, just out of those two, I think if anyone's going to fall out of the top 10, it might be Randall. Just going back to that, I feel like we talked about it, Bojan, so much. I mean, you talked about it with them. I mean, it's just going to be a ton of ball movement. It's going to be efficient basketball. That's what they're going to be looking to do. And I think that if we're on the opposite side, the Knicks are probably the sign of inefficiency.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be shocked if he fell out, and Ricky, maybe that's where your boy Zion finds this top 10 spot. Is taking over Julius Randle's.
I will say, for those of you guys listening at home, Zion should have been in the cumulative top 10 because he was tied with Bojan at 63, and I think I would put Zion in the top 10 over Bojan. None of this, what has he done
Did you have
yet
Bojan in your
stuff.
top 10?
No, I did not.
Where'd you have?
I had him at 14.
That's ridiculous.
Yep, it is. But that's right.
And Dave and I had him in our top 10, right?
I had him at 8. You had him at
8.
8.
Yep. So, I mean, you had two guys that had him in the top
I
10.
know. I'm just
Zion was
arguing that Zion should be a top 10 guy over Bojan.
What has he done? He's done nothing.
But
he hasn't done anything.
But you know who is a top 10
You know
guy?
what? I should be a top 10 podcaster, but I've never also done nothing. But I want it, so give me it.
You know who is a top 10 podcaster, though?
Zion Williamson.
This guy right here.
Yeah.
I'm the
He's a
up-and-coming
gem.
scholar.
He's a
Right,
true
you are
gem.
an up-and-comer.
Mark Eldridge, though. Like, quietly very good.
Oh, yeah, he's in the top 10.
He doesn't shoot threes, and that's okay. We're okay with it.
Well, it's the
And
Spurs. They don't shoot threes.
yeah,
He's quality.
he just scores. He rebounds. He passes. He gets blocks.
Why did the
he
Bulls
gets a couple
trade him?
ste-
I don't know.
Plays defense.
He's very good at basketball. He's not sexy. He's not exciting. And I think that pretty much sums up LaMarcus Aldridge.
That also sums up Kawhi Leonard.
Isn't he perfect for the Spurs, though?
he's
Like
pretty
Kawhi,
perfect on
Tim
the Spurs.
Duncan, LaMarcus Aldridge,
yeah, I
David
mean,
Robinson.
the thing is, we might
Robinson was pretty sexy.
But
I mean,
his play wasn't
Navy
like...
Admiral. I mean, Jesus Christ.
He was just impressive.
Guy who dropped
pretty yoked,
70 just to be the scoring champ. Like, that's pretty awesome.
yeah.
That was
the thing
before Pop, though.
The thing we may see with LaMarcus this year is him playing at the 5, depending on the whole Jakob situation. But we put him in at the 4. I expect Rudy Gay to come off the bench. So we'll see. That'll be a very deep team. And that was your cue, Sean.
Who was that?
I believe that was fucking Rudy Gay, man. No. You whiffed on that one real hard.
Fucking Rudy Gay, man.
High quality from this podcast. That's why you're not a top 10 podcaster. It's been 4 hours. We're all the way through our 1 through 30 power forward
Bears.
rankings.
Yeah.
But there's some guys who, like, backup power forwards who could easily be on this list, too. Like, this list could keep
Luke
going.
Cornett.
Luke Cornett's not one of them.
Oh, fuck.
I was thinking Jan and Jark.
Jan and Jark. Can't
Jan
wait
and
for
Jark would, I'd put him in my top 30.
Aaron Baines.
Aaron Baines might be a top 30.
Really?
I don't know.
Probably playing center.
Yeah, that's all right.
I don't know. I'm just going to throw out. I was trying to throw out names that aren't going to be
Oh, okay.
top 40 power
Fair
forwards. I just wanted to be
Fair
wrong on
enough.
all of them. Anyways, let us know your thoughts on our top 10.
Yep.
Especially, let us know what you think about AD versus Giannis. Who is the better player there? We'd love to take your thoughts there. And also with that, who do you think should be number 1? Is Kawhi number 1? Ricky, you didn't give your thoughts too much about Giannis over Kawhi, but
I mean, Kawhi's good and all, but like Dave said, Giannis has gotten better every year. He's going to get better this year, and he's the reigning MVP.
I don't know.
But Kawhi Leonard wins championships everywhere he goes now.
Beat his ass in the playoffs, so.
Bounce.
I mean, the Bucks were up 2-0.
And then they choked.
I mean, the rest of the team needs to show up also.
Giannis didn't improve.
If Kawhi wins the championship with the Clippers, I'm just saying, like, is there any question?
Is he better than LeBron James?
That's a conversation we want to have, actually. I'd love to have that.
But then you could also say,
The man's traveled and won 3 championships on 3 teams.
the ultimate journeyman,
well, hey, if LeBron wins it this year, then he's also done that.
but he's not. Because the Clippers are going to win it.
It's not for sure. Did
is it though?
Who picked the Raptors before the season?
You?
No one.
No one
Okay.
did.
That's the point.
I was waiting for a Sean like I picked him.
No. No one picked him. No one knew they were going to win the fucking finals. No one knew what we'd expect out of Kawhi Leonard, and they won it. So, I mean, we all thought it was going to be the fucking Warriors again, but it's not. I'm glad it's not the Warriors. I'm glad to be over with that. Anyways, let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. Also, rank us podcaster-wise. Like, would we be top 10? All right? Let us know down in the comments below. Anyways, that's going to do it for Dave Oster. For Ricky Widmer, I'm Sean Anderson. We'll see you next time.